Welcome to us. Click the circles.
Oh, you wanted more? The game explains itself in the first 3 seconds. What more do you want from me? A deep, artsy analysis of how clicking circles is actually the pinnacle of video games? Because I can do that if you want. Take 2. The greatest strength of the rhythm game genre has always been its simplicity. The simpler the base game is, the easier it is to scale difficulty and allow for user-created content. 2 of my favorite things in video games: a long, steady learning curve and an effectively infinite pool of content. So with that in mind, let me introduce you to the best video game of all time, Osu. A game where you click circles and nothing else. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. Wait a minute, that sounds just like Call of Duty. And it is! These 2 games are exactly the same. The only difference is that Osu has just slightly more anime girls than you would see in your average game of COD. So picking between the 2 was a real lesser of 2 evils situation. Anime or war crimes, pick your poison. God, this script is a train wreck already. Let me back up a bit. So at the dawn of time, the supreme being of this realm, Azathoth the Blind, was all like, I'm bored, there's nothing to do, so we went to sleep and dreamt up the whole universe. Dream logic applies here, so when some dude named Dean Herbert was like, I want to make a game where you click circles, the dream just kind of rolled with it, and it ended up being one of the oldest, but also one of the most weeb rhythm games out there. Remember in my Beat Saber video from way back when, I compared Beat Saber to Osu, citing the 2 games' simplicity, singular aesthetic, and how the core concepts are so ridiculously accessible a protozoic organism could probably get a few high scores? What I mean is, when you think of VR as a gaming platform, the most logical style of gameplay is swinging your arms around. Flesh it out a bit and you get Beat Saber. Do the same thing with a PC and you get Osu. You click at the right place at the right time and boom, you're doing it. Because of the simple input method, a tutorial is kind of unnecessary, but Osu has one anyway and it's hilarious. Anyway, there are a couple songs that come preloaded, but it pales in comparison to basically any other rhythm game. The community really had to pick up the slack in order to build a solid chunk of content. Thankfully, they built 15 mountain ranges worth of them, so I'd say there's nothing to worry about in that regard. Osu's community is massive. It may not be as active as it was in the glory days, but it's not like the songs from back then just stopped existing. There is still an overwhelming number of songs to choose from. The only problem being 99% of them are Japanese. To be honest, I think this is Osu's biggest fault. Even if the song list is so massive, it's severely lacking in variety. One of the core appeals of rhythm games is taking songs you already know and allowing you to experience them in a whole new way. And a lot of the time when I search a song I like on Osu, I come up dry. Of course, when I look for an anime opening, J-pop or otacore song, I find at least 15 different versions with a few remixes for good measure. If that's your thing, go for it. The game's free. Even if it's not, you should still give it a try, but I can't guarantee you'll find what you want. Another thing that's super nitpicky but still annoyed me a bunch was how a snare drum plays every time you click on a circle. Not only does this break the aesthetic of certain songs, but it's also kind of annoying since I'm never going to be perfectly on beat. I'm still using a mouse. It's great for a few quick clicks, but it kind of falls flat when it comes to precision timing. Beat Saber hides this by always playing the hit sound effect on the beat, even if you're a few milliseconds off. It's just enough wiggle room to protect your immersion, but not so much it feels like the game's playing itself. But that's not all. Osu also comes with 3 alternate play modes. Osu Taiko, which is just Taiko no Tatsujin, which is just Donkey Konga but worse. There's Osu Mania, which is just DDR but worse. And there's Osu Catch, which is just dumb. Yeah, the alternate modes all deviate from what makes Osu so fun in a pretty fundamental way, and are just way worse, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that was Osu. There really wasn't much to talk about here. Maybe that's because the game's so simple, maybe that's because I'm just burnt out on it after playing it daily for over half a year. Maybe it's because I'm so damn tired of listening to high-pitched Japanese squealing, but hey, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun to a decent chunk of whoever's watching, so give it a try. It's free after all. Oh, and one more thing, while searching through alternate skins, I stumbled across a Beat Saber themed skin, which led down a rabbit hole culminating in a meme about everyone despising Ohio State University's football team. Acronyms are weird sometimes.